Hello, Martha.
Yes, hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I trust you are doing very well. The way you are pinky this afternoon there. What have we taken for lunch?
Not yet. I've not had lunch. But I brought some rice. I will eat after our call. Yeah.
Also, please, I'm joining. I'm bringing your t-shirt myself. I'm not letting the dispatch rider bring it so that I can
Oh,
come and
okay.
join in the
No
rice.
worries.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
you're welcome to PMP Alumni Talks. This is to help us motivate and encourage people who are yet to write the PMP exam to also get to know that they can do it. So first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself to us, tell us about who you are, what you do, and let's quick start this.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Martha Mensah. I work with Sukudevi. Sukudevi is a Canadian NGO. We work on cocoa, and the project is To Get Her Project, and I'm the principal coordinator of the project. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing to know. So, what influenced your decision to become a PMP?
Okay. Well, I have had this on my radar for quite some time. I initially took a course, the class to write it. In fact, initially, I had no idea that it was a professional course. So I needed to write an external exam. I was thinking that you take the course, you write it, and you get a certification. So it was in the initial class I took. That was somewhere 2015, thereabout. Yeah, 2015. So I went for the course and I realized that no, there's a professional course. You have to do an external exams and all of that. So after the course, I couldn't gather the courage to write it because I realized that I wasn't that prepared. So it took me some time, exactly. It took me some time. One day I was scrolling, browsing on LinkedIn, and then I came across your page. And on that page, what I saw was what actually attracted me was pass or take your money back. So it's like, oh, this sounds interesting. If I don't pass the exam, I'm just
You
coming
take your
straight
money back.
to start up to take my money. So let me give it a try.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I had by then left my previous organization. I joined a new organization, and luckily for me, we had this staff development fund. So I applied for the fund, and I joined the class. So when I joined the class, the introduction, the intro, I was telling them, I'm super busy. I don't know how I'm able to write to really study to take the exam and pass it, but I was assured that I will get the necessary support to be able to take the exam and pass. So I said, okay, let me give it a try. So I joined the class. I joined the virtual class.
Okay.
After the 6 weeks, um, I saw what actually helped was when we came in for the boot camp and the resources that I had. The initial class I took didn't actually give me that resource and the support, the encouragement that I had from your team. So after the class, there was this follow-up, and you, Regina, did so well. Once a while, you will check in to find out how is learning going? Are you preparing for the exam? I'm like, okay, yes, I'm on it. Let's see. So when I joined the boot camp, I realized that though I was not alone because at the beginning of the class, Mr. James was asking us, when did you take the class? And I realized that people had taken the class like a year or two who have not. And I said, oh, I'm actually not alone.
Yeah.
I have a team of people who are also struggling to write it. So, okay, so I'm not alone. And he was encouraging us that make sure that after this boot camp, you don't join the next boot camp.
Yeah.
You write, you book, and then you write it. So he gave us two options. He was like, from now, I will give you like 3 months, study and write it. You either book your exams now, book the date and hold on to that date, or you study. If you think you are prepared, then you book and you write. So
Amazing.
again, I was, as usual, procrastinating. Once a while, I'll go through the books and I'm like, hey, this thing is a lot. Oh, am I able to finish reading all of this materials and write the exam? So at a point, people started writing and passing. So people will
Yeah.
write and come and post and they're celebrating. I mean,
And
you
then you
would see
come
my
and
post
comment.
like, hey, that bay, when am I going to write?
D for the
So at the
bay.
point I was like, shit. So I remember somewhere in November or October thereabouts, there was someone who passed,
Mm-hmm.
and the person was like, this thing, I think I am procrastinating. Let me just get a date and get
Yeah.
this thing done, right?
Mm.
Let me get a date and get it done. And I remember when people passed the exams, I mean, what they were told is, oh, welcome to a new world of opportunity. There are so many things
A
that
new
comes along
level.
with.
Enjoy your new level.
Exactly,
Welcome to new
exactly.
opportunities.
And for me,
Yeah.
what enticed me the most was to have the PMP by my name and to have the trademark signs. And no, this
Oh,
thing
yeah.
I really
Then
need.
you need to introduce yourself again. In fact,
So
because when you
I
introduce
need
yourself, you didn't mention that you are
the
PMP.
PMP. I should ask the PMP. So I said, no, listen, I need to be serious about it. I need it. So Um, and yes, so somewhere in October, someone wrote and passed. And I remember I made a suggestion on the page that I think for those of us who haven't written the exam yet, can we create a page and see how we can help each other? And we created another page.
Mm.
And yet, we were still silent on that page. So we gave ourselves a timeline to write by December.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I look at the workload I have and the things I have to study, I wasn't prepared for December. So I said, you know what, let me book for January. So I booked for the 29th. 29th was a Wednesday. I said, no, let me book. I wanted to do like 31st. Like, should I book this 31st? I said, no, 31st is a Friday. If I book it for 31st, I will wait too long for my results. So let me do 29th, which is a Wednesday. So I booked and I said, now I have a date. So whatever the case, I need to study and write it.
Yeah.
Um, so when I booked now, I became serious about studying. Luckily for me, I got like 2 weeks leave in December. So
Mm-hmm.
I committed that 2 weeks to study. Usually during Christmas, I used to travel to visit my mother-in-law. This time I decided not to go. So I
No
didn't.
troubles. No
I start,
trouble.
in fact, I didn't celebrate Christmas at all. It was just
Everything
studying
is
throughout
PMP.
Christmas.
Exactly.
Then we resumed and I took another 2 weeks leave, the last 2 weeks in January to write.
Okay.
So that was when I had another support. Another colleague also wrote past. And then when I went through her tips, there were so many things that I learned from there. Most importantly, signing on to the study hall. So with the
Mm-hmm.
study hall, I was able to do practical tests, assess myself to see, how prepared I am and all of that.
Yeah.
So finally, 29th came. I went in to do the exams, and luckily I passed. In fact, when I saw the email congratulating, the way I was I was screaming. I was the only person who took. I was screaming. I'm like, goodness, I finally
Yeah.
made it. So
Yeah,
that
that's
has
how
been the journey for me. Yeah,
yes,
but
that's
kudos
how
to
it
Step
feels.
Up team. I think after my class, I recommended two of my colleagues who have also taken the exam, the class. They are also
Okay.
now preparing. So I shared it on our office page to say that, Charlie, I've been able to do it. So you can do it. And if you need
Yeah.
any support,
Yeah.
come. I'm ready to offer that support to them at a fee. I won't give it to you for free. So come
I
and
know, right?
yeah, so it's been an interesting journey, but let me just say that Step Up has been an amazing support. I mean, you people have really, really given me the
Mm.
support that I needed, the resource, the materials, the encouragement, the boot camp, all of that came handy and helped me to really excel in this exam. So I would highly recommend Step Up. I've
Wow.
recommended you to other colleagues who are also interested. They realize that I've passed and like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, now we think we can do it. I will recommend Step Up anytime, any day to anyone who wants to
Mm,
take the
that's great to
PMP
hear.
exam. Exactly.
That is
Yeah.
really wonderful to know about your story
Yeah.
and what really influenced you to do the PMP program. And do you think that if your first institution has given you that kind of support, you would have written and become PMP?
Long ago.
That's awesome.
Long ago. I would have
Mm,
been PMP certified long ago, but I
long
did not.
ago.
I didn't get that support. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's
Yeah.
it's good to know that this kind of support is not really going waste, but then it is
Yeah.
helping us to become who we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did your preparation go? How was it? You mentioned that you realized that you were not prepared, yet you booked your dates. So how
Yeah.
did you prepare basically so that you make sure
Yeah.
that you meet the target on the exam dates you've set?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think even on the tips that I shared on the page, I indicated that, well, the reference guide is actually the pin book guide.
Yeah.
But the pink book guide, it's actually, it gives you the information according to the various domains.
Mm-hmm.
But when we went to the class, we looked at the 10 knowledge areas.
Yeah.
So when I was reading, I was actually looking for the knowledge area. I wasn't finding it. So it was a bit difficult for me to understand the pin book.
Mm.
Then I switched to Rita. Rita was one of the recommended materials. So when I
Yeah.
switched to Rita, Rita made a difference. Rita, I mean, when you're reading Rita, it's like she's talking to you, right? She's
Mm-hmm.
teaching you. So
Mm-hmm.
I read it and I began to understand. So I went through Rita, I read the whole book. Now, when I came back to the PIM book, I could now understand,
Mm.
the PIM book. And
Okay.
I did a lot of tests. So when you read it, I mean, the initial test, you will not do well because you are,
Exactly. That's what I
right? You
always
are
tell
now
people.
reading exactly, you get
Yeah.
to understand it. So initially, the initial test, I didn't really do well, but that didn't discourage me. I kept going on and on. I also did the mocks on the setup website.
Yeah.
And then also another thing that was, awakening to me was the PMI. They call it the PMIism, like the
The
mindset,
study hall. Yeah, the mindset.
exactly, the mindset. So I watched some of those videos, and that
Mm-hmm.
was also like the aha moment for me, the awakening moment, right? That
Yeah.
especially for agile, it's more about people, not necessarily about the process. So
Yeah.
when you look at the questions, when you have the questions, look at, question answers that are more people related. If it is this
Mm.
one, so that one also worked out for me. So now when I'm doing the questions, when I'm um, doing the test, I look
Mm-hmm.
out for this particular, these answers. And I realized that when I was following the mindset, I was now able to score higher marks in
Yeah.
the mocks and then the preparatory exams that I did. Exactly. So those the recommendation from our predecessor really, really helped with understanding the concept and applying it. And in the case
Okay.
of PMP, you are not tested on the facts, you are tested on the application of the
Yeah.
knowledge. So once you have that understanding, now you begin to understand, what the questions require and helping you to be able to choose the correct answers. So
Mm.
that is what actually worked for me. So Rita, the PIM book, and then a lot of tests that I did
Yeah.
really helped me to prepare because
So
I
you
had
meant
a strong,
the simulator for
yes,
learners on the Step Up
yes,
Business School
yes,
website.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. And then the study hall also helped. I mean, that
Yeah.
one, so the study hall helped me to manage my time, which is the
Mm-hmm.
critical piece when you are taking the exam, your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that one, if you are doing the mocks on the study hall, it times you on each question, and then
Mm-hmm.
the exam as a whole. So it tells you for this question, this is how many minutes you spent. So you
Okay.
know that if you are supposed to spend a minute or less, then you begin to, work out your time. So that really helped. Even in the final exam, I was able to save a lot of time, to be able to go back and do the review. So
Okay.
I will also recommend study hall. It's a bit expensive, but if you have the budget to do it, to get it, I will highly recommend that you get it, and of course you will come out successful.
That is great to know. So, talking about your preparation towards the exam and the exam date finally coming, when you sat in the exam hall, you wrote in the center. How was it?
Yes.
How was the feeling like when you got to your center? What time did you get to your center? Some people get to their center like 5 a.m. And I asked
Oh,
you,
I
the one
see.
going to open
Then I
the
wasn't I
center.
wasn't early enough. Anyway,
Okay, so what
so
happened on the exam
I
day?
I got to this, and I am around on the Kaswa stretch,
Okay.
West Hills Mall.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a traffic, the traffic congestion in the morning can be very heavy. So I left home early. The exams was at 8:30. I left the
Mm-hmm.
house at 6. I got there, I think about an hour and a half to
Okay.
the time. Yes.
Yeah.
I drove in there, so I just waited outside, waited in my car and still going through a few things.
So when you got there, the place was not open.
It wasn't opened yet. I mean, it
That's
was
my
too early.
experience.
It was too early, so
I always
I
get you
waited
people
for them.
going there to open the door for them.
Yes. So I was there when they came, open, clean the place before I was ushered in to go do my registration and all of that.
Yeah.
Then I went into the exams room. So I was the only one who wrote that morning.
Okay.
So in fact, when the actual test started, I was nervous. I was shaking.
Mm.
Then after doing like a few questions, I was like, if this thing goes this way, I should pass this exam. So
Ah.
I did the initial one. But one thing that helped me was that, you are doing the 230 questions, the 180 questions over 230 minutes. So
Yes.
before I went into the exams room, I did my maths. So, okay, I need 72 minutes to finish this one. If I deduct it from the 280, then around this time I should be finishing.
Yeah.
So I did that for each of the sessions that I did. That is why I calculated the time so that I'm looking at the time as well as doing the work. And
Okay.
as we were advised, if you're not too sure of the answer, flag it, go and come back. But don't leave any question unanswered. So I made sure I didn't leave any question unanswered. And I made sure that I had a few minutes to come back to look at the reviews. But even if not at all, I have answered all the questions. So that is what I did. My scariest moment was to submit the final, the final
Why
questions,
was it
the
so?
last 60 that I did. When I finished with the last 60, I had quite some, I think I had about, was it 30 or how many minutes? I don't even remember anymore, but I had
Oh,
quite some time. So I took
okay.
my time, went back, reviewed and reviewed and reviewed again. And now I had to finally submit. I
Yeah.
said, okay, let me just click. In fact, when I clicked the submit button, the final submit, I was like, okay, it's done.
It
So
is.
I called how do you call it? The person in charge of the center said, I've submitted the final. He said, okay, you have a seat, I'll print the results for you. And that waiting moment,
The waiting moment
my heart was just panting. I'm
is
like,
a
God,
shaking
is this?
moment.
The waiting was like, God, well. So when finally I received my results, I'm like, congratulations. I was just so excited. I was like, God,
Oh.
fine. So that is how it was for me. When I
Yeah.
started, I was very anxious. I was shaking. Then the final moment where I had to wait for my results, so it was the same. But I think at the end of it, it was a sigh of relief. I mean, once you write and
Yeah.
you pass it, it's like a burden has been lifted off your shoulders.
Lifted.
So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't even sleep the night to the exam. I was just tossing and turning on the bed, So, but once I was done, that was it.
Ah, that was great. The shaking moment again. I mean,
Yeah.
getting your results, I've heard stories about when you have to wait for your provisional results and
Yeah.
you don't know whether or not it's going to be a pass,
Going to
and
change. Yeah.
you are just waiting, and the paper will be handed over to you folded, and you open. You don't know whether to open your eyes and read or close your eyes, but I mean, it's all good. It's all part of the feeling, and then
Yeah.
it helps you to celebrate
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so far you are PMP. What are some of the opportunities that has come your way, or have you tried to let people get to know about you being PMP? Have you shared it on your social media handles where people can get to see? And how has that been for you, if you have shared
Yeah.
those things?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, once you pass, PMP will even ask you, how do you intend to celebrate it? So post it here. So yes, I've updated my profile on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
So the PMP is there. My signature on my emails, I've updated it. I think it's Facebook that I've not updated. That's a social page. It's not any serious page. So
Yeah,
for that,
I
I
know,
have
right?
another one. The other social, and of course, I've updated my CV as well. Initially, it
Yeah,
was just the class and the school, but now I have the certificate. So I've
yeah.
updated my certificate as well.
Okay.
So, well, as I indicated earlier, I'm a principal coordinator. So now we are going for the project management proper position.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I know that definitely that will come. The advantages are enormous, and of
Yeah.
course, once you even have PMP, there are a lot of opportunities that are open to you. Currently, I'm not really searching for a job because I already have one. But I know that
Yeah.
in future, if I have to search for it, definitely I know what positions I can go for. So I know what PMP brings, and definitely I will tap into that opportunity, even in terms of um, negotiating salary and other benefits. Yes, so
Yeah.
certainly I know that um, there are a lot of goodies there for me to
Yes.
tap in from. Yes.
Yes. So talking about you not searching, but then because you have a job already, how has it shaped the way you work? How has it shaped the way you think towards the work you do? How has it affected it?
Yeah. I think that by now my colleagues are getting tired already. But, according to, my PMP taught me that this, that. Um,
Unapologetically.
No, exactly. So, well, I work on projects, right? And I lead a project. So a number of things, and specifically looking at the project constraints, the cost, the schedule, and then the quality of work that we do. So we are looking at, so it has really enhanced how I look at these things now
Yeah.
to ensure that we are not just spending, but the spending actually reflects the quality of work and ensuring that you are also delivering according to the schedule that you have planned.
Okay.
And in terms of even negotiating contracts, right? What type of contracts are we going into? PMP offers, recommends a number of contracts that we can look at.
Got
So some of these learnings, and of course, the agile way of doing things, even though we may not necessarily be doing agile, I think that gradually I am beginning to introduce like a hybrid form of, way of
Exactly.
doing things.
Yeah.
How do we look at being more efficient, not just being effective, but being more efficient in the way we work and being more proactive, ensuring that we are not just working hard, but we are also working smart.
Yeah.
I had a feel of agile in my previous organization, the one before joining. We worked on a social lab where we had adapted the agile methodology. So I have some feel of it, not in depth like I
Okay.
did, yes, with it, but I understood the concept some way, somehow. So I am gradually infusing into retreat, but for now we are really looking at like a hybrid approach where once a while I introduce, can we do things this way? Can we do? So that has really shaped the way that work is being done. And more importantly, looking at how do we speed up? How do we become more efficient in the things that we do? So, and it's not just for me, but also to see how I guide the team that I work with the knowledge I've acquired. But most
That is so great.
importantly, that I don't also forget, because once you don't apply the knowledge, you forget it.
Then you forget,
So
yes.
I followed the PMI page on LinkedIn. Weekly, they share newsletters on things. So I read them to keep myself updated so that I don't also forget, what I studied exactly. So that is how it has been for me so far. But most importantly, I also need to start working on my PDU. So that is also one thing.
Yeah.
Once you have the certification, you need to keep the certificate. So
Yes.
I'm also working towards my PDUs. So that's the other thing, for now.
So talking about PDUs, I hope you are aware of our masterclass where attending it also give you 8 PDUs. So you should
Yes.
also be targeting to join our masterclass so that you
Yeah.
get those free PDUs. You
Yeah.
claim it as well as whatever that you are doing in adding up to get the 60 PDUs within the 3
Yeah.
years, which you
Yeah.
can even get within 1 year.
Before the 3 years,
Yes.
exactly.
And then you
Yes.
renew your certificates before
Yeah.
time. So you
Yeah.
put your
Yeah.
mind on getting PDUs within the
Yeah.
2 years and then you
Yeah.
move ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So great
Exactly.
to have you here today. And I'm so
Mhm.
happy to hear you share this story with us and to
Yeah.
encourage everyone out there who is here to write the PMP. So I want to ask, how would you rate Step Up with your experience with Step Up in a scale
A
of
scale
1
of
to
1 to
10?
10. A scale of
How
1
would
to
you
10, I will give Step Up 8.
8? Okay, so can you
Yes.
tell me why you're giving Step Up 8?
Yes. As mentioned earlier, there was a lot of support I got. Even though it was a virtual class, usually virtual classes are boring, but my class wasn't boring at all. I think we had a good lecturer who took us for the virtual class. And then after that, the follow-up support. I mean, it's a school that I did the class with. So technically, you were not supposed to offer me any form of support after the class, but you kept following up with us. You want to ensure that your student writes the exam and not just write it, but write and pass on the first attempt. Because I heard stories where people have taken tried first, they either got it at the second time or the third time. But I think for all those that I took the class, most of them went in for the exam for the first attempt and they all passed. And this is something that you need to celebrate. And it's also due to the effort that you and your team also put into it. Even with the registration, filing for submitting our application to PMI, you supported us in paying the exams. You supported. I mean, through your effort, we were able to get a significant amount of discount that I don't think if I had
You pay
to,
$365 for your
directly
exam
apply.
and membership.
Yes, exactly. Instead of 575, on the page. So that really helped. That really helped. And then also the materials. There were so many. I still have a lot of materials here that I couldn't even read before the exam. A lot of materials were shared. The slides, the pinbook guide, the agile, guide, and so many other materials. You have a lot of, materials to study for the exam. So, and the constant support, the bootcamp, that you offered us, the constant knocks from you. You always check in, Martha, where are you with your studies and all of that? I mean, I didn't get it the first time. So for the second time, I think it was worth it. It was worth the money I pay
Mm-hmm.
to study with Step Up and then to get the the certification with you. So I would highly recommend Step Up to anyone who wants to take PMP. Step Up will help you. You write it first time, you'll pass. You don't need to worry about,
Yeah.
taking the exams a second or a third. The first time you will pass. So yeah, thank you so much for that
You're most
support.
welcome so much.
Yes.
So Step Up is worthy of the recommendation. Thank you so much for these
Yeah.
nice and kind words from you,
Yeah.
our able students who has also made us proud. And we can say
Yeah.
that, oh yes, our students are passing. So
Yeah.
before you go, and so that we don't take much of your time, what do you have to say to people who are getting ready to write the exam? We still have people on the bootcamp page who are yet to write the exam. And I saw you share an epistle of tips that they can use to
Yeah.
write the exam. What do you have
Yeah.
to tell us here
Yeah.
to help us, encourage us, and motivate us to write the exam?
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's doable. I've been able to do it. And as I mentioned, I am a very busy person.
Mm-hmm.
As a project lead, there are a lot of things that I have to do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And initially starting this whole journey, I wasn't too sure whether I'll be able to do it because of the time constraint. But I was able to do it. I was able to write it. If I'm working and I've still been able to write and pass, what about maybe some of us who are not even working or we are students? We can do this and pass, right? Don't be
Yeah.
scared. It's just a matter of studying, right? It's just a matter of studying, understanding the concept. Look at the tips that people have shared on the page. That helped me a lot. Refer to those tips. Um, Review the YouTube channels. There are a lot of information on YouTube
Yeah.
that people can refer to. So look at all the tips that others have shared, and you should be fine. You should be fine. I will encourage everyone, just give yourself some time to study, go through the materials, practice, and that's it. You should be able to pass. Yeah.
So go through all the materials, practice, give yourself some time, and you'll be fine.
And
As
book the
Martha says.
dates, book
And then
the
book the dates. Yes,
exams.
book your
Book,
dates.
I will go for book the exams and then hold on to the date. Once you
Yes,
have the date, you will be
book the
forced to
dates and
study
work
and
towards
write
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I will
Because
highly
I mean, we
recommend that
wouldn't
as well.
want to reschedule at $70.
Yes,
So when you
yes,
put the dates, you work towards
yes,
the date and you make sure
yes,
that on
yes.
the day you are very prepared and ready for
Prepared
the
to
exam.
take the exactly to take
Thank
the
you
exam.
so much, Martha, for your
You're
time. We
welcome.
appreciate, and then thank you for sharing these insightful thoughts with us. That is going to help us all prepare for our PMP exam as soon as we can.
As
So
soon as possible.
I'm giving back your time to you.
All
And
right.
like I said, I'm joining you for your lunch. So please wait for me.
I'll wait for you. Don't worry. I'll
Wait
wait
for
for
me,
you.
Kra.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. So I hope
Okay.
to hear
Thank
from
you
you
too.
again.
All
Sure.
right.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.